It is time now for Kara's Cures. So how can women manage hormones in their middle age, from weight gain to brain fog, some of these things that we're not so excited about?
Absolutely.
Dr. Artemis Morris is here now to talk about solutions so we can solve some of the most common complaints. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you, Karen, Scott. Great to be here.
Again, before we begin, can men suffer from this syndrome as well, or is it just basically a woman's issue?
Oh, yeah, there is an andropause, absolutely, in addition to menopause. And the same factors that affect women will affect men as well.
Okay, good to know.
So if you're finding that, gosh, it's a lot harder to lose weight, or I didn't think I changed my diet so much and I'm gaining weight around the middle, you might have a hormone issue. And you say, number one, we need to focus on toxins that we might accumulate over time.
Yes. So one thing a lot of people don't realize is that the toxins in our food and environment are major factors in terms of weight, in terms of metabolism, in terms of, how our system and our risk of chronic diseases. And it's through these chemicals called endocrine disruptors. So endocrine disruptors are things in our food and in our environment and medications that affect our hormones' ability to function. And some of these endocrine disruptors are actually in food, but those are positive things that we can use to bring our hormones back on track. So yeah, the endocrine disruptors, toxins found in like flame retardants and like boat, where you paint the boat paint, and there's many places, plastics, that these endocrine disruptors come in, and there actually can be something called obesogens. So which basically they disrupt our fat cells' ability to communicate and increase inflammation, and we tend to gain weight if we have those in our food, in our environment.
I want to get to some of your other points, but just I remember one of the obesogens: always avoid high fructose corn syrup. That can be a major problem.
Absolutely, yeah. They're found in many, because it's in our soil. This is where we definitely get in some of these obesogens, and even some things like heavy metals, arsenic, put in chicken feed. There are different things that seep in that we don't want.
So the good thing is, Scott's like, what do you do about it? Well, your digestive health matters, because that is going to affect something called our microbiome, affects our metabolism. So how do we fix our microbiome?
So it comes down to the same basic things that, diet, nutrition is really key. And some of these endocrine disrupting chemicals have been directly found, like tributylin and triclosan have been found to directly affect our gut bacteria and increase our risk of irritable bowel syndrome. And so we really want to address gut health as part of a healthy metabolism, weight loss, hormone balance plan, because the gut is also important. The microbiome, the second brain, as it's called, which are the bacteria that live in and on us and affect our ability to absorb nutrients and have optimal health. They will play a role in your metabolism as well as your hormone health.
What about stress levels? If you're constantly stressed out, will that help to increase your weight and keep it on?
Yes, and many of you out there might know this personally. So when we're stressed out and cortisol levels go high, that's part of the endocrine system. So this is part of hormone balance, is the adrenal glands. They're part of the endocrine system that produce cortisol, which helps with insulin resistance, it helps with weight, but it also does play a role in terms of appetite, in terms of how we utilize carbohydrates in our system, how it gets stored as fat. So that weight gain around the middle, that spare tire that we don't want, that's actually could be due to stress and the direct effect of not only the toxins disrupting the endocrine system, but also how stress affects our metabolism.
So one of the solutions is to detox. And that sounds like maybe harder than it is if this is confusing people. Talk about how you can lower the toxicity and how, can we kind of quickly actually rebalance our hormones if we make lifestyle changes?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, in my practice, I've been practicing now for 22 years. I've seen wonderful results in short amount of time. There are very specialized testing we can do to look at it, but this is why we're doing the Mediterranean detox diet, combining the best of Mediterranean diet with things like, anti-inflammatory olive oil with things that create more balance of the system, help promote the healthy microbiome, and help to balance hormones. So this is where we want to also get into things like, what kind of detoxifying foods can we include? Like the olive oil with the lemon juice. We've got Brussels sprouts, broccoli, which actually has something called diindolylmethionine in it, which helps to get rid of toxic estrogens, because estrogen can be toxic for men and women. That's how the tumor growth happens too. So we really want to address hormone imbalances as a way also to decrease our risk of cancer, to decrease our risk of chronic disease, and to really notice where inflammation's happening. Okay. And we can also include phytoestrogenic foods in there, like I have here.
Like some flax seeds and those things. So we'll get more into this in Kara's Cures. And Doctor, we want people to know they can go to artemiswellnesscenter.com. You can watch, we're going to be talking about this more in depth on the WFSB streaming news app. We'll get more in depth, but eat your broccoli. Thanks, Doctor. We'll talk to you in a little bit.